Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 1 of the Mouth of the South podcast. I'm your host, OG Cypher C, aka Harlem Hayes. You know what it is, baby. Chill Clinton, if you will. Official episode 1 is dropping right now on TikTok Live. So you know what the deal is. Come in, join, share, repost, question, comment. You know what to do. This is my first ever podcast on TikTok since the Aftermax days, which has moved to Facebook. And if you don't know what Aftermax is, go to maxwrestling.net. Max Wrestling. See, now I done forgot. That's the craziest shit ever I can ever do. maxwrestlingnet.weebly.com for more information. This ain't the only podcast I'm a part of. Obviously, as y'all know, I'm a part of the Max Wrestling Podcast on YouTube, which after this one, I will download this episode and put it to my official YouTube page, because that is really just, I forgot I even had one, so there's that. So I'm going to go ahead and share this out right now, get people to come in here. If y'all don't mind sharing it out, I'm going to share it out right now, boys and girls. I am live on TikTok right fucking now. And we're going to get this party started. So if y'all don't mind, share this out. Share it to the friends. Share it everywhere you can. Repost. All that good shit. So if you see me in here, say hey. Be in the comments. What up, Casey? I see you. I'll try to keep up with the comments as I go. But today is the very first episode. And I'm dropping it right here. It will be uploaded to YouTube. So people can see you interact and try to get my YouTube page up and jumping. So episode 1, I said it last week on the introduction to me episode. Episode 1 today is going to be a little bit more serious, a little bit more in depth. Today we're talking about self-accountability. And I know what you're thinking. You want to start off like that, hot and heavy right at the gate? You damn right. It's my shit. And I can say whatever I want to. Like, listen, I'm a loving person. I love with all my heart. But you know what? God didn't give me the gift of gab for reason and the gift of jab for nothing. So, self-accountability, what does that mean? Your actions have consequences. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. What goes up must come down. The irresistible force meets the immovable object. You know what the deal is. Self-accountability is literally right and wrong. And if you're wrong, you take account from yourself and apologize. Now, I know what you say, actions speak louder than words. It's just true. But the stepping stone to self-accountability is finding it within yourself to forgive yourself for hurting someone you care about, putting those words into play so that the action may follow. And self-accountability is something I had to learn through my own personal experiences with people that I've known for years and years in. And I will be the first to tell you, I have antagonized some shit in my life. I've been the antagonist, the protagonist, the hero, the anti-hero, the villain. It doesn't matter what you call it. At the end of the day, as long as you self-assess yourself and put yourself in the hot seat, sit back and be like, damn, I really fucked up as an individual. I need to apologize. But most motherfuckers don't want to do that. Most people out here think actions don't come with consequences. Like TikTok, for example. Yes, I'm live out the app talking my shit, using this platform as a podcast. I don't need no mic to do this. My voice carries itself. I don't need no fancy computer set up. All I need is a mic on the phone and a light. That's it. This is as raw and as real as it gets. But I'm using this app as a way to self-assess people's actions and consequences. Like, people have talked shit about me on this app. People have stabbed me in the back on this app. People have thrown me under the bus on this fucking app. And what does that mean? Yeah, I used to forgive and forget. Yeah, I used to say keep my friends close and enemies closer. Because as a person, I got a big heart, and that is what really fucks me over at the end of the day. I should have been a cold-hearted motherfucker a long time ago, but that was not the path I wanted to choose for myself. But people have literally came against all odds to bring me down, drag my name through the mud where I had to get it out the gutter and start all over again. Hell, I've dragged my own self through the mud. I had to go through 7 circles of hell just to come back and realize I was a fucked up individual. But people can't admit that to themselves. People can't look themselves in the mirror. They think they're justified to do what they got to do to make them sleep at night better. Motherfucker, karma is a bitch. Karma is a whole ass bitch, bro. And you sitting here thinking your actions don't have consequences, you were crazy. You're insane. And I know what you're saying, like, damn, bruh, calm down. It ain't that serious. No, it is that serious. There's people on this app that I used to hang out with every day. We went from complete family to just strangers overnight. Beef turned into real, just like, gaps in the friendship, to which I'm sitting there thinking, why are some of these people still friends with me on the fucking app? Like, what are you gaining from me? Other than the fact that you have access to my life and know what I'm doing. I ain't got to give you that fucking permission. I can cut you off. Excuse me. I can cut you off as simple as fucking cutting the hair off my head. It's that fucking simple. But see, I have a big heart. Nobody can take that away from me. Not even a bullet straight to the motherfucking chest can take that away from me. It's fucking stupid to think that people can get on this app and just bring their beef to somebody else's table and be like, either you take this beef or we're no longer associates. Motherfucker, I didn't cook it, I didn't grill it, I didn't bake it, I didn't fry it, I didn't do none of that shit, didn't season it. So why are you bringing this shit to my table when I'm over here eating my own lunch, bruh? Like, I don't understand that. Like, you get into an altercation with somebody else, and then when it's too big for you to handle, you got to go get 2 or 3 other people that has nothing to do with the situation in order for them to back you because you're too much of a fucking pussy to back up your own shit, which is crazy to me. Now, there's been some instances in life where I ain't never asked nobody for help. I could put the hand on the Bible right now. Put my hand on the Bible if God's watching, bro, and say, the only times I ask for help is when I'm mentally fucked up. That's it. But when it came to getting real down and dirty to the nitty gritty, these is all the fuck I need. This is all the fuck I need. This is all the fuck I need to get me by. I don't need to have a crowd of people. I don't need to tag people. I don't need to make shot videos. I don't need to do this shit. If niggas want to come talk shit to me, come talk shit to me. DM me. Let's be adults and talk about it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you feel a deal with me, bro? Like, let's talk about it. We're all adults, but but this app is like a goddamn high school, bro. And excuse my language. I don't mean to take the Lord's name like that, bro. That's not usually me, but this is a personal subject. And that's why episode 1 is going to be a little bit touchy, a little bit unforgiving, and a little bit like cutthroat. Because, you know, I've been through the shit. I've been through the struggle. I've been through the grind. Like, I have hurt people because of my own fucking narcissism, my own gaslighting, my own fucking demons, bro. And I'm man enough to admit, man, I'm not that fucking perfect. I don't want to be perfect. I just want to be better. I want to get up every day. I want to wake up, open my eyes, thank God for the life he's breathed life into me, and keep it moving. But people just wake up with the same beef they had 3 years ago, still not liking the person for what? That's why your life is fucking miserable now. You don't know how to forgive nobody. And I get it. There's some things that cross the line. There's some things you can't forgive and forget. There's some things in life you got to go get yours. And I understand that. Because I know of many situations, personal situations of friends of mine that I'm not going to spew on here. But I understand where they coming from and where they got to do. Because at the end of the day, some of these motherfuckers on the internet, dude, they hide behind these facades thinking they tough, but in real life, they gonna fold like origami. Now, I'm a little hyped up. I'm a little worked up. Let me bring it back down and bring the pace back down and breathe and think about this clearly. Because you see, in life, there's 2 paths. The right path and the wrong path. And I have walked on both paths. Not as far as many people have walked down the path of darkness, but I've walked both paths. Hell, I route straight in the middle. Because I'll tell you right now, 2020s is literally stepping stones into a much darker path. I will tell you right now, the start of 2020 was the darkest I've ever felt in my life. And I say it to this day. People that know me personally know what the fuck I've been through in 2020. Like, nigga, I'm almost checked out in 2020. And that's not me. That's never been me, dog. I've never, ever in my life thought about shit like that. But 2020 hit, bro. I was like, fuck it. But then 2021 came around. I had to earn trust. I had to fight my way back to me. I had to fight my way back to my friends. I pushed everybody away in 2020 like they wasn't shit, bro. Hell, in the years advancing, I've treated people like shit. And I've talked shit about people, but they talk shit about me too. But at the end of the day, when I get mad, and it's no excuse, this is no excuse, no whatsoever. But when I get mad, absolutely pissed off, I don't see no end to it. I'll go straight for your jugular and cut your artery off, nigga. That's me. And I had to step back and realize, damn, I went too far. I've hurt this person to the point that they should have just kicked me to the curb. Hell, I would have kicked me to the curb. But people see the potential and good in me, and I thank God for that, for allowing me to be in their lives, because there's something people see in me that they can't let go. And that's not me being conceited or having a big head. It's always been the fact of life. It's always been the case. And I may be exposing myself too much here, but it's about self-accountability. Self-awareness. About being able to recognize your flaws, your weaknesses, your mistakes, learning, growing, putting them into play, and actually being a better fucking human being. I have not walked in the shoes of everybody. I don't want to walk in other people's shoes. Hell, I don't want people walking in my own shoes. Not for the fact because I got a big foot, size 14, extra wide, extra large foot. No. Because most paths ain't made for other people to walk in. Because you don't know how somebody's going to assess the situation of their own problems, let alone somebody else's. And we're practically put here to try to understand each other better. Learn, live, grow. Try to find some common ground. And again, going back to what I said earlier, it doesn't necessarily work like that, because people have crossed a line in your life, and in mine included. Well, people have crossed a line talking about shit they had no business putting on the internet. They had no fucking right to say what they said about you on the internet or around your town, or around your community, or around your church, etc., bro. And it's crazy to me how people just wake up and just carry that hatred in their heart. Because I couldn't do it, bro. I'd be dead in the heartbeat. Because why walk around with all that poison in my veins, all that venom in my heart? What they call it now, toxic behavior. I don't want that shit. I see that shit every time I log into Facebook. Well, we'll include Facebook. I see it on every social media app, even here. This app right here, nigga, is really ridiculous. Now, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm being wrong, you tell me, and I will apologize. If I'm wrong, you tell me. Because I'm a person who loves constructive criticism. I don't see as nobody talking shit about me. But I'm just looking at people like, hey, you went a little too far here. I wouldn't have really said that. I would have said this instead. So next time if you talk something like that, just make sure you're a little bit more sensitive. I'll be like, you know what? You're right. I absolutely understand. I did take it a little too far, and I apologize. But if y'all tell me if I'm being right or wrong. Like, y'all tell me. Because I've cut out people in my life that did not benefit me at all. That I kept hanging on to because I thought I had to. Because I thought there was some sense of formality there. Nah, bro, you don't. sometimes it hurts less to let go. Because if you keep holding on, the rope's just going to get tighter and tighter, cut off the circulation to your hand, which is going to eventually cut off the blood circulation to your body, to your arm, to your heart, and then you're dead. Thank you for the heart, me. I appreciate that. And I'm not trying to be preachy. This is not me being preachy. This is me, like, speaking on my personal and just what I seen, bro. Like, I've seen some shit in my day. I'm 33, about to be 34. I wasn't supposed to be making it this far, homie. Like, at one point, I was the biggest motherfucker on the block. I was over 460 pounds at one time back in 2011, bro. I was on my way to being in the 600-pound life. But I took self-accountability to fix myself, fix my health. Now, granted, shit happened. I'm legally blind. My fucking ankle. I think I broke my ankle at one point and the bone just reconstructed and built upon itself, making my ankle stronger. Sometimes that motherfucker hurt, but I don't tell nobody. I mean, I just did. But self-accountability. Just told you. Used to have heart issues. Used to have sleep apnea. I used to look, my skin was way darker than it was. When I was younger, I looked like I was in my 40s. Now, I'm in my 30s looking like I'm in my 20s. That's because of the dedication and the weight loss and the time I put in. Now, granted, I do take it hard. I do go hard when I ain't supposed to. Because my body cannot handle that much strenuous activity. But in my mind, I'm like, fuck it, dude. I'm a machine, knowing good and damn well I ain't no machine. So I have to take self-accountability on myself and take it easy and take it slow. Because, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to be on the 6 o'clock news found dead in my bed because I did something to myself I wasn't supposed to do. I mean, I've got off medications. I've been off medications. Recently got off of my Ozempic, which is a blessing. That's a godsend. But I decreased my insulin. I'm type 2 diabetic, pre-diabetic. And somehow this winter has not been the best time for me, but I'm trying my hardest to get better. I don't really eat a lot, but I know how to save something for a while and keep eating off of it until I get tired of it. Now, granted, that's me personally. Everybody has their own story. But I want to switch gears here and talk about self-accountability and TikTok. And I know I use both of those in a sentence back to back. Like that shit goes together like a fucking sandwich or something. And it don't. That's the fat kid in me. I know I use the sandwich references. Sometimes you can evade it. I invented the word big back. But anyway, that's for a different day. Like, I understand not liking a person because they did something to you or said something they shouldn't have said or this, that, and the third. But if you're just not liking a person because they choose peace over chaos, or you not liking a person because you just had a little small disagreement, or you just not liking a person because they're friends with another person and you just feel like, oh, well, if you're friends with them, I'm blocking them and you. Like, nigga, that's childish. That's petty as fuck. People come on these fucking lives trying to have fun. And you watching from the FYP and just banning them and, like, getting them nannered for no reason. Like, that's stupid as fuck. Stop that shit. If you're going to be childish, take it somewhere else, bro. There's other... actually, no. What you need to do is come to a compromise within yourself. Go to this person and talk it out. Explain your case like you in a courtroom, nigga, and be like, hey, we both adults. Let's talk this out. Let's see what we did wrong. But that's only for the small shit. Now, the big shit, if somebody talked about some shit that just is absolutely heinous, unforgivable, like they did something, like, I don't want to say what I want to say on here because I don't want to get, das Boot. But y'all know what I'm talking about. The real extreme heavy shit. That's different. That's completely different. And you deserve not to be around that type of negativity. And I wish I can be more unfiltered with this shit. I really wish I can. But I know y'all can see where I'm coming from when I'm talking about the heavy, extreme shit that we see on this app every day. Because the news is on this motherfucker. Like, this TikTok's become NBC, CNN, MSNBC, Channel 3, Channel 9. I don't give a fuck. Nigga, it's all the news channels plus the government's on here. You see reports of crimes every day. Outlandish crimes. Crimes that deserve people get thrown in the wood chipper. Crimes that see people deserve to get, like, you know, just that type of shit. But at the same time, you got to take self-accountability yourself, bringing that type of attention to your door. Because, see, that's the shit people don't want to talk about. How they bring it upon themselves. Because if you know you like that, and you get on here, and you try to hide it, and somebody finds it out, and then they expose you, and you get mad at them for exposing you, that's your dumbass. You shouldn't be on the app if you like that. You shouldn't be on this app at all if you bring something that pretentious, that diabolical, that evil to the app, knowing people gonna find out about you. Because let's be honest, guys, we are in an age where nobody trusts nobody, for real. Unless you have met them in person, unless you're real close to them on the app, you got to know them, got to actually, you know, have a decent conversation. And, you know, there's about four or five things that can actually, you know, go into play with that. But don't nobody trust nobody for real. It's all fucking fun and games. It's all high school antics, man. But people don't want to take self-accountability for themselves, thinking, man, I did some foul shit. They call me out on my bullshit, but I'm mad at them for calling me out on my bullshit. So I'm just going to start beef and keep beef forever. Nigga, that look bad on you. Not the person that called you out, but you. Woosah. All right. The bottom line is with this is a very delicate situation. I knew what I was going to get into when I made this episode 1. I knew how I was going to approach it. I knew what I was doing. I knew I'm at a risk. I knew I was at a risk. I know I'm at a risk. Hell, I know I'm putting a target on me. But in the great words of the late, great Bernie Mac, I'm not scared of you motherfuckers. You don't know shit about me. You don't know shit about my life. Again, you could never walk in my shoes because not everybody's shoes made to be walked in, nigga. I'm not no hardened criminal. I'm not tough. I'm not gangster. I'm a nigga that keep it 1,000 with you. I was raised by the OGs who didn't want to see me make the same mistakes they did. That's how I was grown up as a man in this community. Now, I've talked about my father in the introduction to me. I love my dad. But he was never there. Nigga almost 67, 68 years old, still doing the same shit he was doing when he was younger. I don't condone that shit. But at the end of the day, that's my pops. I still love him. Now, if he gets himself into some shit that ain't got no do with me, hey, my hands is tied. My hands is up. But if he gets any of my other siblings involved in it, I'm going up in arms. There ain't nothing I can do. Because I'm going to protect my family first no matter what. I'm a family man. I'm a godly man. But I also know I know how to speak real truth. I never been out on the streets. Streets never made me. Never sold rugs. Never did any rugs. Never been in that side of life. And I'm not judging nobody that's been there. No. I'm not judging nobody. This is a judgment-free zone in this motherfucker. Let me get that out of the way right now. It don't matter what you do. At the end of the day, you know right from wrong. But I don't judge nobody for what they do on this app. You get your paper and you survive however the fuck you're supposed to do. As long as you're taking self-accountability for your health, your safety, your family, your children, and all that stuff. As long as you know that you're taking self-accountability, knowing you're not hurting the person next to you, or hurting the people that's closest to you that love you, and you know that they love you and they try to help you, but you be like, nah, I got it. I'm good on my own. And I admit it, that used to be me, bro. Like, I was that motherfucker that just didn't. I knew people was there for me. I knew people cared about me, but at the end of the day, I was like stuck in this mentality, you know, like men can't be weak. Men ain't supposed to cry. Men supposed to stand on business. I stand 10 toes down, but sometimes, yeah, it feels good to cry. My mental health sometimes varies. But for the most part, my mental health has never given me a problem to where I had to tell myself I was going to check out. You know, in 2020 I did. But I took self-accountability and came back from that. I think 2021 was my greatest comeback, and I've been building slowly ever since. Because last year was a great year for me, and this year is going to be better. As long as I keep what people have taught me and also combine it with stuff I already know, even it out, you'll be fine. And people are not going to get what I'm talking about when I say self-accountability either. They might not. It just depends. And honestly, like, at the end of the day, like, if you know you done something so severely fucked up, you had to work your ass off to get that trust, that love, that back, because nothing stays the same. Once you fuck up so many times and your actions never change, but your words say you will, people gonna stop believing you. You're gonna be the boy/girl who cried wolf, or whatever you want to identify yourself as. Again, no judgment. This is a judgment for his own. It don't matter to me. You treat me with respect, I treat you with respect. We keep it pushing, we keep it moving. I believe in unity. I believe in coming together as a people. You know, I believe in that. I still believe in that. Even if humanity is extinct on that shit. You know, me personally, I believe in unity. I believe in forging something stronger than bonds can ever be. And that's just me speaking. Y'all may not agree with me. You may not know like the ins and outs of shit, but you know, it's just like some things I take seriously. I come off as a goofball, a funny dude, somebody has a good time, but serious conversations like this, I'm very engaging. I will debate niggas on this all day. Partially because I'm part my mom and partially because I'm part my dad. That's a dangerous concept to think about and say on live. But shit. We all know where we came from. We all know what it is at the end of the day. I mean, it's just like, it's time for most of the people in this world, not all, but most people just grow up, man. Quit fucking with people that's just trying to be doing them. Like, you know, just worry about themselves. You know, just, because you know what they say, man. They say the quiet ones are the ones you got to watch the most. And that's still true to this day. But you just messing with somebody because of what, you know, TikTok fam, or who they associated with, or who they know, you know, that, no, just cut that shit out. Cut it out. And, you know, I might lose friendships at the end of the day when I took this risk. I knew the job was dangerous when I took it. But that don't go into men saying I'm not going to sit here and just be afraid about it. No, I'm going to be vocal about it. Because I know that people's going to watch this and be like, yo, was that about me? Well, if the shoe fits, lace that bitch up then. Because if you done me wrong and never talked about it, or you holding me accountable for what somebody else did, you need to go to that person and talk to them adult to adult. And if you can't do that, then don't worry about it. But with that being said, I said that this was not going to be about me. I want people to give their opinions on it. I want y'all. This is not just for me. This is for everybody. Voice your opinions. Because I feel like once this gets to a point where it blows up, people are gonna know, like, yeah, there was somebody on this app that's willing to go to bat, talk about the shit that people are uncomfortable to talk about. Am I afraid of getting canceled? Shit. If I get canceled, I get canceled. I still got other ways to holler at people, you know? Oh, Lord. Who's that calling? Sorry, y'all. Somebody's calling me on Snap. Yo. Well, that's a blooper that's going to have to be cut out. Because I was trying to decline it and it didn't decline it. So that's a little bit of I'll just edit that out or get somebody to edit it. But yo, if anybody wants to come up and give their opinion or give their, explanation on it, one person at a time, please. I'm asking one at a time. I don't want to fill up the boxes. I want to treat it like it is like a podcast. So if somebody wants to come in the box at this time, doesn't matter who, and just want to sit and chat, I'm just asking for one person at a time, not like filling up the boxes, just a one-on-one. Or if you just want to say, hey, I agree with you on this, but disagreeing with you on that, we can talk about it. I'm an adult. I don't want nobody to feel like they cannot say nothing in my life. I don't want anybody to feel like they can't say nothing. Like, this is a free world. Freedom of speech still exists, no matter how much they tell us it don't. So if anybody wants a box, please feel free to request up or say what you need to say, share it out, do what you got to do. But, I appreciate y'all tapping screen. I appreciate the gifts, the comments, all that. I got a little worked up coming into this, but this is just one of them serious matters. This is one of them serious talks that had to happen, and I feel like it needed to happen. Oh, we got somebody in the box. Let's see who's in here.
Howdy.
Howdy, neighbor.
You should know I always got some shit to say.
I just was like, yep. When I seen the name, I was like, Pearl's gonna say some shit.
Say some shit. So I'm all for people like taking accountability and really just saying what you say and saying it with your whole chest, but following up on those actions. And I was married to somebody who I never thought I could hate in my lifetime. And I've never harbored so much, not even just hatred, just disgust for somebody, because it was always, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And it was never any follow through, never anything. And I've gotten to the point now where I've grown up and I, went to therapy and I did the healing in me, that if you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, that's instant cutoff for me now. Like, I don't tolerate the BS, and I haven't quite grown the full backbone to defend myself in public situations, but I got to the point now that I'm like, if you're not going to do what you say you're going to do, we're done. Like, there's no continuing anything.
I understand that.
And I agree with you 100%. Like, if I'm talking about you and you stumble through this right now and you're like, are you talking about me? If that shoe fits, please lace it up and fucking kick rocks with it. Because at the end of the day, like, people are always going to get some type of assumption that you're talking about them or you're, doing whatever. And I had said in the comments, my golden rule right now for 2026, if you ain't fucking me, feeding me, or paying my bills, you better leave me the fuck alone.
And I know somebody else who would agree with that statement, but I'm just going to keep that under wraps. Y'all don't need to be nosy.
Oh, you know we're nosy.
Yeah, you know we're nosy. We're in
That's
here, we're
why
nosy.
that's why all the neighbors are in the chat. We're all
All the
here.
neighbors. All the
All the
neighbors in
neighbors
the
are
chat.
here.
Thank y'all for being here, neighbors. I appreciate y'all.
Tiffy said, "So do I have to buy you food?" Yes.
You do have to buy her food in order
Yes.
that food. They say food key is the key to a man's heart, but that's just. I think food is just the key to anybody's heart. Like it don't matter who you are. Like
Uh,
today, I shared my taco salad with people, and that's gonna have some consequences, but we'll get to that bridge when we cross it.
right. No, and I think food is the best gateway to even get to know somebody because we all silently judge each other. So the fact that you're going to order something, I'm going to judge you from the minute you start ordering to the minute you stop.
You cannot go to a fancy restaurant and be like, "Yo, what them chicken tenders like, dog?"
Right.
No, you can't go to Olive Garden and ask for chicken tenders, or in somebody's aspect, a ham and cheese sandwich.
Yeah. You know, I always laugh at my kids because my kids go to Olive Garden and they'll get buttered noodles and grapes. I'm like, homie, we got that at home. Like I could have saved $10 and cooked it for $1.92.
We could have went to the grocery store and made some ramen noodles.
Right. Yes, but I am fully at this point in my life now after, going through my self-healing journey and going from not wanting to wake up to absolutely loving life. I have felt the need to reiterate to people that you have to be true to you at the end of the day. And whatever that looks like in whatever capacity, people are going to love you regardless. And you just have to fight through the bad to get to the good. And the good will always end up being there, but you have to fight for it and you have to want it. Because anybody can say, "Oh, I want to do this, I want to do that." But if you're not willing to put in the work to get rid of those bad people, then you're never going to get to where you want to be.
Exactly. And it's like I said, like I had to cut people off that I just kept hanging around because, I thought at the end of the day, like, yo, I had to keep because, but that's not the case. Like I said it before and I say it again, like, love me or hate me. Because I used to have a problem, like, I guess it was a trigger or it used to be a problem. I don't know which one it is. So I'm gonna say it's a little bit of both. Like I used to have an issue with people not liking me. I wanted to be liked by everybody. But then as I
Yeah.
got older, I realized like, nah, it's not how it works. So now in my 30s, I'm like, dude, if you don't like me, that's cool. If you love me,
Well,
welcome
and I
in.
think we're conditioned at a young age that way too. Like on both sides of the spectrum, like people are mean to you because they like you, or people are mean to you because they're jealous, or whatever the case may be. And since we grew up with that kind of mentality, I feel like we all kind of turned into a people pleaser at some point. And then once you're knee deep in that people pleasing, it's hard to get out.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
and until you're like, I guess almost completely broken either inside of yourself where you don't even know you can't relearn new habits until you break that version that you no longer want to be.
I
Because
totally
I
agree.
feel like I was a huge people pleaser in my marriage because I figured if I just did everything, if I just made sure all he had to do was go to work, he would come home and be happy. Well, joke was on me. He was never fucking happy and he was never satisfied unless I, you know, groveled at his feet and every argument was my fault. Every time we had money issues, it was my fault. Every time anything went bad, it was my fault. And, if I didn't make same Pearl, I feel that with my soul. Yes, absolutely. Like everything was always my fault. If I stepped the wrong way, it was my fault. If I, didn't take the trash out today because trash day's tomorrow, even though you're very capable, if I didn't do it, it was my fault. And I lived like that for so long that I hated myself. I hated waking up every day. I hated, going to my job and pretending to be happy. And it just got to a point that I was like, if I don't get out of this, I'm going to lose myself completely, if you catch my drift. And I looked, my turning point was probably 2 years ago. I took my son to the playground and he broke his arm, like right above his elbow. And I spent the entire day in the hospital with him, the ambulance ride with him, and his dad didn't come because he was at work. I said, okay, well, your son is getting ready to go into major surgery and I'm by myself. My parents had Paisley because they didn't want her at the hospital. And I sat through surgery by myself. I talked to the doctors by myself. I sat in the recovery room by myself. And the only people that showed up were my best friends. And I was like, how is it the one person who vowed his life to me in front of God and everyone, and you couldn't even show up for your son? Don't even show up for me, but show up for your son. And he couldn't even bothered for that.
And it's crazy. It's crazy. Like it's just not. And I hate to say it, but it's kind of like both sides, because it's like literally, if you got one spouse that's not willing to help you put in that other 50%, and they rely on you to put in the whole 100 when they put in the bare minimum, it's hard. It weighs down on you. It weighs down on the family, and eventually the kids are around and see that you're not happy, so then they're not happy, and this used to be a thing with me. I never had my dad around, so I used to think, oh well, was this my fault? Did I do
Right.
something? But then I kind of got to the point where nah, it's not. Which deeply built up a hatred inside me for him for the longest time. It wasn't
Yeah.
until I was old enough to let that go and just be like, well, it is what it is. He's gonna be him. I'm gonna be me.
Right. It
But
was me. I vaped.
I don't care. TikTok, y'all ain't canceling my ass. I see a request in there. I'm just doing one at a time, y'all. But yeah, like it's hard. It's hard from both sides. Like if you being a good wife and you got a terrible husband, or if you're a good husband, you got a terrible wife, it's hard. You
Right.
know?
And the worst part is I don't know, it's probably like 2 or 3 years ago, right around the same time that he broke his arm. He was already feeling the effects that you were, that he was like, why doesn't my dad like me? Why does my dad not love me? Why does my dad not hate me? And then when I saw that in my kids, that's when I knew like I had to get out to make sure they were happy and loved and taken care of, because I wasn't taking care of me. So obviously, naturally, everything that I didn't take care of for me, I had to make up for with them. And I struggled the whole time running on empty, because I had to make sure my kids were happy. And at the end of the day, I had to make sure my kids felt the love, even if I wasn't getting it, that they felt it and they knew that I loved them and I was going to do whatever I could to make them happy. And when we ultimately I told him I wanted a divorce, and he was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to do whatever it is, and I'm going to do these things. And I was like, no, I've given you more than enough years to like get your shit together, so to speak. And he would just breadcrumb me until he thought I was satisfied. And I just couldn't take that anymore. He moved out. My kids didn't even know that he moved out. Didn't even notice. Didn't even call. Nothing. It wasn't until this year, I think it was like right around October, like right around my birthday. They went to his apartment for the first time, is when they cried and was like, I miss my dad. I said, you haven't missed him the whole last year and a half. How all of a sudden do you miss him now because he has his own house and you finally got to go there? Like,
And see, that's the thing with kids. They take it a little bit more personally. And
yeah,
I understand, like, he's been gone for a minute, and now you realize it, and now you've seen him, and you realize, like, it hits you hard. And I understand, but at the same time, they need to understand that it's not their fault. This is what he chose to do. It's
right,
how he chose to treat you. It's how he chose to be there and show support. And
right,
ultimately, that is what he didn't take self accountability for.
right,
And it's the same thing if it was like the woman and she decided to leave, and it's the vice versa. If you do
right,
not take self accountability for yourself and realize that, oh, I'm not hurting me, I'm gonna hurt her, but you got to think about you're also hurting your kids as well. And if you don't think about
right.
that, then that's completely fucked up.
Yeah, and I had waited for a long time. Like I probably should have left before Paisley was born, but I never believed in, like, not necessarily the broken home, but I believed in marriage so much that I was like, you made this vow, like you are taking it like to the death. Like, and I never wanted my kids to grow up in a broken home, but I also realize the weight of the parents that, stick around just for the kids. And then ultimately, at the end of the day, when they're 18, 19, 20, getting ready to go into their own marriages and have their own families, they look back and resent me because I gave them a false narrative of what life should have been or what it could have been had I been loved correctly.
Yeah, but at the same time, they notice it early, and I know it's gonna sound crazy, but kids usually notice at a very early age which parent was there and which was not, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
doesn't seem like it does, but they notice that, and it's a gift, and they're gonna look back at you and be like, "Mom was always there. Mom was always
Right.
supporting me. Mom was there 1,000% of the time. Where were you?" And,
Right.
and people can make excuses and say why they were where they were, why they wasn't there, this, that, and the third. But at the same time, they see who was there in the beginning and who made it possible. Which again, it falls on self accountability.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I can agree with you because my kids are 10 and 7, and my son has seen it since he was 6 when he started Boy Scouts. If it wasn't for my dad or me, he would have never joined Boy Scouts. My dad goes to every camp out with him. My dad goes to 50% of the meetings. I'm on the council for the Boy Scouts. I've never wanted to be a team mom. I never wanted to do anything. And this boy's got me on the council within the month of him joining Boy Scouts. And I'm knee deep in everything. And then she started ballet and has recitals and this, and luckily this app brought me a man who made sure he left a day early for vacation to make sure he made Ethan's band recital where his dad didn't even show up.
And we
And
and we love that man very much.
I listen, that man has saved my whole outlook on love and life, and they notice it already. And my kids tell me how much they miss him every day, and they call him just to tell him hello and that they love him. And I'm like, how is it you're asking to call this man, but you're not asking to call your dad? Or you're asking when he's coming back, but you're not asking when he said, Kaner, it's all right, easy. You
Dang.
stop it. But I mean, it's just looking at everything through the eyes of a child And I was never that way until I had kids. And then I'm like, damn, now I remember when I was a kid and I was put on the back burner, so my brother could be a mediocre little league football star. And I get it. And so having to see the eyes or see the world through the eyes of them and like take that accountability that everything I do is is going to affect them as much as it's going to affect me. And I don't I for anybody who out there who has not gone to therapy or talked to somebody, I highly recommend it because it just opens your eyes to a new way of thinking and changing different little aspects to hold yourself accountable. And like when I've never been one to say I'm sorry ever. And the amount of times I've told this man sorry in the past 6 months, like I don't even know who I am when I talk to him.
Right? Yeah, guys, don't be like me and think gym is your only therapy, because then you end up like me, fucking yourself up. But Pearl, thank you for coming up here
You're welcome.
and giving your insight and your point of view of
Absolutely.
things. I appreciate you.
Love your face.
Love your face. If I think I got time for one more chat. Let's see. Oh yeah, I got 9 minutes left. I think I got time for one more person if y'all want to come up and like give your point of view, give your testimony. I said testimony like we in church. But it pretty much is just about self accountability. So anybody else wants to come up, feel free to come up, give your point of view, like share your like thoughts of self accountability if you want to. Like I said, it's open access. Pearl came up here and she definitely gave her thoughts, her opinions, her point of view, everything. So I want everybody to know, like, this is an open app. My TikTok live. This is a podcast live. Like, there is nothing that you can't say. I mean, let me rephrase that. There's some things you can't say, but it's not going to be like to the point where I'm going to be like, hey, watch your mouth. I ain't your daddy. I'm just Uncle Corey in the house. You already know. OG Cypher C, aka Harlem Hayes. I got too many nicknames, y'all. But if anybody else wants to come up, feel free to do so. But if not, and y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to DM me on here. If you don't have my Snap information, just DM me for that. But once I get my YouTube page set up, I will be posting I'll be posting this episode on my YouTube account once I get it fixed and set up, and y'all can go and look at it there, get the views up, and we're gonna make 2026 our bitch. We're done letting people tell us what we can and can't say. Like, we had to censor ourselves a little bit, but not to the point where we have to be scared either. But if anybody wants to request or anybody wants to come up and say anything, I appreciate y'all for tapping. I appreciate y'all for liking. I just appreciate y'all being here, commenting, sharing it out. I think we had at most 20 to 30 people in here, which that's the most I ever had on the live. And it wasn't drama based, so yeah. But yeah, so once I get everything done and over with and get my YouTube set up, I will be dropping this episode on my YouTube. Excuse me. I'm over here fixing the drawer because it was bothering me. I get off track a little bit, like my brain does that. But I want to thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate you. I love each of your faces again. Like next weekend, same time, definitely the same place, as you can see. Episode 2 is gonna be a little bit more fun. This one, I had to get the serious shit out of the way, but episode 2 is gonna be a little bit more fun, where we can get some people in here and get see how everybody's taste is, because episode 2 is going to be titled Music Moves the Soul. Music moves the soul. So it's very music based, very instrumental based. I might drop a freestyle while I'm on this episode 2. You never know. Your boy's a little rusty. Ain't been a minute since I hit the mic, but Music Moves the Soul is the title, episode 2. We're going to get people's opinion of the favorite artists, favorite music, what gets them pumped up, what gets them hyped, what makes them happy, what makes them sad, what type of music they try to avoid from crashing out. And I know people crash out. Just get a little fun, get to know each other a little bit better as a people, and see, like, if you have the same musical taste or different, be like, I never thought that person would like that. It's a no judgment free zone here. Always. And I got the hashtag get ready to be set up for everything. So make sure y'all save this hashtag. Saturdays are for casting. And it was something I used back in the day when I used to podcast off Anchor. So we're going to use the hashtag Saturdays are for casting. It's the Mouth of the South here, Mouth of the South podcast here. And the way I spell it is with the Southern twang instead of TH, it's with the F, because, us Southerners, we got our way of using words and making them sound a little bit different. Shout out to Adrian. Hope she sees this. But yeah, title episode 2, Music Moves the Soul. I'm going to go ahead and get that set up, get that written out. This was a little bit more of a freestyle based stuff. It came from the heart, the soul, the spirit, and the mind, as well as personal experiences. Again, shout out to Pearl for coming up and giving her points of view and everything. And I know y'all was in the comments commenting things and, showing support and love. But guys, thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate you. Love you. May y'all have a blessed, wonderful weekend, the rest of your weekend. And I will see y'all back here next Saturday. Use the hashtag Saturdays are for casting. You already know what the deal is. It's your boy, OG Cypher C. I'll catch y'all on the next episode of the Word of Mouth Podcast. We out this bitch. This thing ain't cutting off.